Hello and welcome to my upgrade guide for the middle game. So the middle game, we'll call it chapters 8 to 14. So this is a guide for generally like most optimal upgrades and why. So let's look at the upgrades. Well, actually, before we do that, one thing to note, before chapter 14, you get one elite class. So if we go to promote class, I have one elite, so you get to choose who you want to promote. In my opinion, the best person to do that, like to promote, would be Eridor. The reason for this is he gets Desperate Defense, which when he's at or below 50% HP, he takes half damage. And if you look at some of the other people's abilities, like Shielding Stance isn't nearly as good, Spring in Your Step, Magic Ablaze is terrible, Fight or Flight is whatever, Surprise Attack, no, Sight Set, not good. TP on Ice, this is a contender. However, this early in the game, you're not going to be using Glacial Moon. So Corentin can be upgraded to get TP on Ice for, the next Valor. I would say that's fair. But Desperate Defense on Eridor, he's your main tank. Inheritor, you don't really need it. It's good, but finish them in Moment of Truth is perfectly fine. No. No. Lady Luck, no, you wouldn't even use it on Medina. You get TP Physic for free, so she's almost level 22, so I wouldn't bother. Swift End, this is good, but unlocked at level 33, so no. Rite of Luck is terrible. Endless Speech is good, but level 34, so no. Switch Places is terrible, so... and then for Benny Boy, I don't even think he gets anything from upgrading. Like, he gets something from going from Recruit to Veteran, so he would not be... Honestly, the best unit to upgrade first to Elite. You get Desperate Defense pretty early. He's level 22, he has it. Taking half damage makes him way tankier. He's one of the best units for Fresh Save. I would say it should go to Eridor. No one else, like, Shielding Stance is okay, but it's not... I can't justify giving it to him. And then +1 move on Roland is negligible. Most of these are bad. Definitely Eridor. Maybe Corentin, but you need to hit level 23 anyways, and you probably get another upgrade, another Medal of Valor after this. So, all right, I would give it to him. I would give it to Eridor. So, all right, so we've got that out of the way. I'm trying to go up, but it isn't responding. There it goes. All right, so for Quietus, I would say you should get everything except for Revitalize, Rejuvenate, and Hidden Reserves. Why is this? These suck. Like, if you're doing Deathless, you can't use Revitalize or Rejuvenate. It counts as a death. Don't bother. You literally can't use them. You'll get a failed Deathless. Hidden Reserves, switch out a party member. Extremely circumstantially useful. 3 Quietus points for this. Not good. I do not recommend using this at all. Save the rest of your QP for upgrade components to upgrade your weapons. Alright, for actual upgrades, we're going to go through all these characters that I have. I can grab Jens right now. He's available, but I guess I'll grab him in a second. Okay, so for Serenoa, I gave him... So if you look at the upgrades I put on him, I got the damage 1 because it's cheap, health 1 because in early game it really matters, Hawk Dive, range +1, and then I just got him Convictions Banner, so he becomes a massive battery. Route and Recover, do not recommend getting it. This is something you should get on like New Game++. It is not useful. This is way better. More damage increase. Dude hits single target damage. Who cares? Let's be real. It's not going to be helping you out. The best case scenario for his damage is like Sweeping Slash hitting like 3+ targets, and even then I still wouldn't think this is as good as Convictions Banner. You need battery. You want it. It's really strong. All right, for Roland, I would say don't get 4 dragons first. Just go for damage. Dude hits 2 targets passively. Rush build good. So I just put damage on him, health, and then he has rush cost -1. I don't even think this is decision. Double thrust is kind of whatever. Like, you can push dudes off of cliffs or just rush them. That's just better. So pushing dudes off a cliff for 2. Double thrust, maybe there's a build for it, but for this, like, just go damage and then rush. And then if you can grab this is good. But you can see here we're running low on quality iron, and I'm going to need 10 superior iron to get 4 dragons. So this is not going to be a trivial upgrade. I would just go for damage and just spam rush, Flash of Steel. You can always use critical blow on him and Flash of Steel, like 5 things for absurd damage from the front. He can do stuff like that and get away with it. Frederica, prioritize KO TP plus over this. because getting more TP is way better than dealing more damage, because it's a slight increase to damage, and getting more TP means you're going to be casting more spells. And if she hits multiple things and happens to kill one of them, she gets TP. And then I would prioritize this because it's constant. It hits all of your abilities. And then I would grab the Scorch damage plus. You can circumstantially use Blazing Chains if there's few enemies that are like, enemies are spread out. But I would say Scorch is generally better. So I would prioritize her upgrades like this. First upgrade you should get, honestly, probably Clear Skies, fire damage up, and then grab this, and then health. Or you can get health early if you want. I just threw health on her because it was cheap and I had the resources. And then for her tier 2s, get KO TP plus first, and then go for the damage, and then go for Scorch. Because this hits all of your abilities, and you're going to be using, what is it, Plume of Flames or whatever the hell, Pillar of Flames, Burning Chains and Blazing Chains and Scorch. So it hits all her spells. It's good. And then long term, she'll get Magic, the Magic too. And then Sunfall. But that's for Endgame. All right, for Gila, just health and health, nothing else. You can grab this if you want, or the jump, but I would just get this, and then that, and then that. So you just get her 2 weapons, and then you get her magic. Increasing magic increases healing. Your Gila should never be in danger. I've been doing New Game Plus, or I'm sorry, I've been doing Fresh Save, Hard Mode, Deathless, and I have not needed more durability on her. So you can easily position her under extreme scrutiny and not get any of her defensive buffs at all, and she's completely fine. She's durable enough to take a hit or two. You just want her positioned well healing things. That's all she should be doing. Quietus, damage. I grabbed accuracy because it was free, but I would say for Quietus, grab health and damage first. You can get accuracy if you want it, and then for her tier 2, grab this first. Pinning things down for 3 turns or blinding for 4 turns is insane. This should be your second priority, or your first priority in tier 2, and then grab damage again. So you just get damage and shut down. You can put health on her. She doesn't need it, but it helps. And then the accuracy kind of helps too. And then for tier 3, I believe this is range plus. I would grab that. I would grab this first. Having increased range is just really good on top of the high ground. It just makes her even more oppressive, so yeah, the rest of it can be skipped. And then you can get Shooting Star when you feel like it, or accuracy. I would go for accuracy. So I'd get the range and then spec into accuracy after. Eridor. Do not increase his damage. It does not matter. Do not waste the resources, because you have to spend, like, stone. Like, look what it takes to upgrade this. Like, 10 stone, or 10 iron, 1 quality stone. That's, no. He wants health and magic defense first, and then physical defense, and then the rest, it doesn't matter. For upgrades, for like the final tier, you can do King Shield, but honestly, I think Provoke -1 is better. This is probably the first one you should get, and then this stuff, skip it. Skip this, skip the damage, he doesn't need it. Corinton, first upgrade, probably health. He dies easily. I would say health, and then weapon damage. And then you can either go the weapon damage second one, or you can grab Icy Breath. My Corinton spams a lot of Icy Breath, so I just grabbed it first, but it's either or. The movement one is something you want, but for priority, you want weapon damage or his aura ability as your first priority, and then magic damage after you get both of those, and then the movement, because this increases his damage. And then you want to get probably Glacial Moon first, and then to get the final magic upgrade, and then the rest is just whatever. This shit doesn't matter. These 3, they suck. All right. Okay, Julio. I do want to get the speed on him, but he's competing for quality iron, so I would say just get health, damage 1, and then Moment of Truth -1, and then the rest doesn't matter. His weapon skill, don't bother putting damage on him, skip it. You could get the speed if you have the resources, but a lot of things need quality iron, so I would get this, like, I don't know, maybe by chapter 17, 18, if you can afford to do it. Otherwise, just skip it. He's literally fine just like this. And if you want to get him more health, you can, or speed, whatever. Narv, I actually don't recommend using Narv. He has TP issues. Corinton is kind of in a similar boat, but he has way more utility, and he has better damage. But for Narv, if you do want to use him, Just like this, you can grab his either or, and then his magic increase, and then you would want to get his either or, and then his magic increase, or just his magic increase. So magic increase, then the or, then magic increase. And then you can grab this if you want to use lightning or wind on him, and you could probably get health on him as well. And then for upgrades, this looks like it's magic 2. Let me confirm that. Magic plus 3. I think that's magic plus 3. If this is magic plus 3, grab this. If not, grab that. He's pretty cheap to upgrade, though. For Archibald, he needs this movement, like, desperately. He's annoying to use because he has 3 movement, and then when there's ice tiles, he has 2 movement, which is just terrible. So he can be okay with Azana to some degree. I would just straight up go for damage and speed. And then, so I would do speed first, then damage, move, and then damage. And then for this, I think this is range +1. I would grab this first. His weapon skill is kind of annoying to use and increases damage up by crits. I would get this like last, or like not last, but like after you get the range. I would get range first and then damage again. And then if you can get the damage increase from crits, go for it. But just damage, speed, and movement. That's all he needs, and then the range. He doesn't need accuracy. His accuracy is already really high. Azana, I actually do run her a bit. Okay, so magic damage increase. This is optional. I don't really think it's that good. I would just get magic damage increase from her weapon damage up. Health, then magic increase. And then magic increase again. All you do with Azana is you just hit things with lightning bolt for good damage. And then paralyze them. That's all she wants to do. All the other stuff sucks. At a high level, at the highest level of play, under the most scrutiny, there are circumstances where Rite of Rain can be okay to use sometimes, but you're generally better off just having her hit things and paralyze them. It's just so much more efficient. So magic damage increase, you can completely skip these, honestly, because she has to waste a turn in TP to like get this up. And the damage increase is negligible considering you're going to lose a potential paralyze plus high spike. And when you're on a map where you're being pressured by enemies, you have to immediately start with the paralyze. So kind of a slower kit, kind of a weird unit. But yeah, just go for damage. Just go for damage. Damage increases, magic increases, grab health on her. And then you can skip her elite skill. But that's for endgame. All right. Piccoletta, very simple, honestly. Skip racket damage. Never get racket damage. I made the mistake. Here's what Piccoletta never needs. She never needs racket damage. Never put it on her unless you really feel like it. She does not need her copycat. There are very few instances in which it's useful. I got her ball toss damage up because it was cheap. I don't even recommend doing that. But basically, I would just get her health and speed and then get her ore. Just get her movement. I would do movement. You can switch her to jump, which puts her at 4 jump, which is actually quite good. And you can get evasion on her if you want. But I would say health, speed, the movement, ore, and then evasion for priority. Do not get racket damage. Do not get accuracy. Do not get ball toss damage. Ball toss is very inaccurate. Just have her throw stones. Do the 2K gold map farm where there's like a level 10 mock battle and you get 2K by collecting the spoils and you just kill the low level enemies. Takes you like 2 minutes. 2K buys you 10 total throwable stones. That's basically the amount of stones she would use in a match. So not too bad. All right, for Benedict, honestly, I would just give him health, upgrade his weapon, which I can do right now, but I don't use him. I would not put damage on him. I would not get him damage increase. I would just put health on him, get his weapon up, put speed on him, and then get his boosts. Get his boost to Bulwark and his boost to Raging Beast, and then health if you want, and then eventually tier 3, get him more speed, and then obviously Dragon Shield. I would say Dragon Shield and then speed, but yeah, I would do health, upgrade, speed, or Bulwark. You could do the Bulwark upgrade first because it's just +1 speed, but +1 speed overall does matter a lot, especially if he has like a speed ring, which is something you get like 3 or 4 speed rings early game. So +2 speed is significant early game. But you could go for Bulwark. Yeah, you could go for health. You could go for health and then Bulwark. That's probably optimal. Because that's basically what he's going to be doing. He's just going to be Bulwarking things on hard mode. And then you can grab extra health or speed or whatever else you want. Anna. I don't really use Anna, but she's funny enough. She's not upgraded much, but she still does really well. Speed and damage, and then we upgrade her. Speed and damage. This increases her backstab damage. This is good. I would say get that. So prioritize speed and damage, backstab damage, and then eventually get her surmount, make surmount free. And then for this, I would say Deadly Blaze is good to get first because she can always spam stones and then use Deadly Blaze and then get the damage. Hasabara, I would go for her weapon upgrades and then increase the effectiveness of Be Brave, and then increase her health. And then for Medina, you can kind of see here, I gave her some health and speed. Generally, you can't go wrong with health and speed for your utilities. She can also get movement plus. But what you want to do when you upgrade her is you want to get her speed +2. This makes her very fast. This makes her extremely competitive. Like, she's about to get TP Physic on this save. Like, you know, next mission, she just needs to level up once. Now she has TP Physic. And her getting +3 speed is huge. So you can upgrade her. I would go for the speed and then the +1 movements. You don't need to worry about her damage at all. She can always just throw an elemental stone. And then skip the luck. The luck is just completely stupid. Such a bad stat. But yeah, speed, best stat in the game. Get it. Health, never hurts. And then movement. So get the speed first and then the movement. And then her elite skill, it's her weapon skill. It's whatever. You can skip it. All right, for Lionel, let's say you want to use Lionel mid-game. I would say you want to get his ore pretty quick. I actually can unlock it. I just need to farm for like 10 minutes to get like 5 or 6k or so. I would go for the 100% Fury. He can get 100% Fury. This stuff, I would get health on him. I would get the Fury. I would get the health. And then I guess you could start going into damage. But he can always just throw stones. He can always just throw stones and then, you know, Fury things at range, which is decent. He's not that bad. He's not that good of a unit on new game or on a fresh save. He has like some issues, but he's okay. All right, and then let's go grab Jens. So that's kind of like one of those standard units you'll run into. One cool thing you can do if you don't want to use a unit, so like if you know you're not going to use Medina, what you can do before you accept her into your team is you can just wait before you accept her, and then whatever level the map you're on is what level they will be, -1, I believe. So if you're on like a level 22 or 23 map, she'll be level 21. And then like I basically don't have to go level her up now. So that's a neat little trick there. All right, let's look up Jens. Jens yoined your forces. He yoined us. All right, let's see. All right, I got it. Let's go back to the encampment now. We'll go over the upgrades for Jens. Honestly, most of the upgrades are just completely useless. Some of the upgrades are really good. Some of them are so good it's absurd, and then other ones are just like, it's like +1 defense on a unit that shouldn't even be getting hit. It's like, that's not helpful. Okay. All right, I got it. Yeah. All right, Jens. All right, buddy. All right, upgrades for Jens. So we have a jump or movement upgrade. We also have health. Probably grab the movement first. I would say movement, health, get him to tier 2, which is going to be hard to do because Indestructible Stone is going to be used on Eridor, very likely. But the first upgrade you should get on his tier 2 is Spring Trap cost -1, so that you can Spring Trap for 1, so you can Spring Trap every turn, and now you have a really good unit. And aside from that, you can get extra health on him. This looks like it's magic defense. He is really weak to magic, so you can get that. But I would say you should prioritize the move, the health, Spring Trap -1, and then health. Or magic defense, but health is basically, you know, more health means you can take more damage, so it's also good. Probably like 10 health should be more than 1 point of magic defense. So yeah, that's Jens. That's pretty much everyone. The units I think you should prioritize for upgrades. You can kind of look at the units that I've been using. Anna can be a priority though. Medina, she isn't as good until you hit like mid-game, like after mid-game. So right now we're approaching endgame. Now she gets TP Physic. Now she's going to be really good. But I would say Serenoa, Roland, Frederica, Eridor, Huet, Gila, Corinton, Julio. You could use an RV if you want. Piccoletta, Izana, Archibald, Benedict can be okay. Anna, and Medina as you hit endgame, and then Jens if you want to upgrade him. But you have to keep in mind getting indestructible stone is annoying, and usually it's going to be spent on Eridor. So if you plan on running Eridor and Jens, they're going to be fighting for that indestructible stone for a lot of chapters. Only one of them is going to catch the upgrade. Piccoletta is extremely good for just like being, chip damage spammer that makes decoys that waste enemy turns. She helps you reposition really annoying enemies and waste a lot of turns. A single decoy early game can waste like 3 to 4 enemies' turns, so it's some of the best CC you have access to, and you can do it at range as well. And she's like pretty mobile, like she's starting to get some good stats. But Anna's like perfectly viable if you want to run Anna full time. That's totally fine. Archibald, he can be hard to run full time until he gets his 4 move. And even then, I would rather have a mage because they can hit multiple targets, and that's something he struggles with. So you can run him full-time, but he's like about as squishy as a mage. Like he's not, obviously these are 3 level difference, but let's see. Yeah, he even has less health than Azana here. She might have an item though. But yeah, those are the units I would invest in the most. Units that I always use, and this is me having gotten to chapter 14 on 3 different save files, gone through multiple chapters. Like some chapters split. There's like ones that split into 4 different things, ones that split into 2, ones that split into 3. So having gone through all these mid games, I can honestly say some of the best units for fresh save are Anna, Serenoa, Roland, Eridor, Huet, Gila, Corinton, Piccoletta, Frederica, Julio. Azana and Archibald are kind of like the same. Benedict, I don't really think is that good for Deathless. You might think he is because of Bulwark, but honestly, I don't think it does enough because the pace of combat is so high that reducing damage by like 10 or 20% in the grand scheme of things isn't as good as just killing something or having Azana just paralyze a guy and put him at like half health. That's so much better because that's also mitigation. So, like, instead of an enemy hitting me for 100 damage and I'm bulwarked and take 80, Azana just paralyzes him, and now I take 0 for 2 turns. That's better mitigation. So the main argument that for Benedict being good is kind of nullified by the extremely powerful effects of Shutdown. Shutdown is generally better than mitigation. If every enemy that can hit you is Furied on Eridor, you're probably going to live. If everyone's bulwarked and there's 5 enemies that can hit you, someone's dying. So, some food for thought, I guess. But yeah, that's it for my middle of the game guide. If you enjoyed this, definitely like and subscribe. I'm going to be finishing up the 3 playthroughs. I have to beat every single map, make a guide for every single map. The next guide like this will be the Endgame upgrade guide, where it's from chapters 14 to finale, so roughly 6 chapters, who to prioritize upgrading and which upgrades are best, as well as who you should give promotions to and why. Because you get a few more units, like you'll probably get Flanagan, maybe Grama, potentially Maxwell, things like that. So yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for checking this out, and peace.